Welcome to CLB Rally Team. I'm Tyler. This is Gavin from Red Hen Racing.
Howdy.
He is going to help me paint the car today. This episode is sponsored by Clark's Corvair Parts. More on them later.
Just kind of eyeballing how I want to approach this. A little bit more ideal conditions, we would have the hood removed, but we don't really have the space or time to deal with that.
So this is a rally car, and we're not doing the full concours restoration on it. I intended for it to be about a 2-week paint job. It's been about a month already. I've done way more work than I thought I was going to. We were actually
You do
originally...
a really good job, honestly. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
The metal work that I know has been done already, can't even tell. Like, it's...
Check out the last video for that. I'll try to link that right here. Otherwise, we are going to spray this with single stage. I got some rust on here in the front and rear ends that we're going to replace in the future with a fiberglass part, so I'm not worrying about it. But we're gonna go through here and give it a good once over, get the car one color, and we're gonna send it. You guys may remember in the last episode I left you on kind of a cliffhanger. Don't worry, in this episode we will tell you what we're doing with this car. It's really big news and I'm very excited about it. Stay tuned till the end. You're gonna wanna see the results on this one, and it's going to be a very exciting thing.
Oh, neat. This might be about the color it used to be. Perfect. Minimal thing.
We're still getting a little bit more fluid than I like. I'm just fine tuning as we go. This first coat's going to be a little trial and error. This thing looks a little bit too good.
The first coat went so well, we figure we'll do another. That's the last coat. think third one.
Yep.
There are definitely a few spots that I could have done better on prep. I think I could have done a couple different runs of wax and grease remover just to make sure it's all good, because a couple little spots of oily.
Yeah, there were
something
a few,
were in there.
I noticed a couple of little fisheye spots, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things about wax and grease remover is if you use too much of it, also is a problem. It can create fisheyes from that as well.
Which is weird because to me it dries out so quickly when you wipe it.
Yeah,
that
you
it
would think
seems
there's
like it's
nothing
not
left
there.
of it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think there's any. And it's interesting that you can see some of the heavy swipe marks of wax and grease remover in the metallic. Like, why does the metallic follow that pattern?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, science is weird.
Yeah, I wish I could say that it was $100 paint job or whatever they say on the internet now, but it's like $1,000 paint job with
I don't
just
know
materials.
what you have in prep work as far as.
Yeah, I mean the primer was like $300.
Yeah.
Yeah, the paint is $300, $4.
The total for the paint, the base coat, the silver blue, for a gallon of that with reducer and hardener was about $4.20. So
Nice.
it's not the it is nice. It's not the cheapest paint job ever,
No.
but it's a very good middle of the road. Like if you're just trying to do something decent to make it all one color, it's about right.
One of my kind of soft rules that I use is like never do the cheapest, because the cheapest, they're always sacrificing something. If you at least step up one step from cheapest, you get a lot better product usually.
I have absolutely rollered an entire Jeep with $30 worth of Home Depot paint. Like, it can always cost less.
Well, I think we're gonna let this dry now. We'll check back when the tape comes off and see how we really did. Might even roll around in the sunlight and take a look then.
I think that's a drop of water.
Can I boop it?
I don't.
No. When it's dry.
Yeah, that's a drop of
Suck
water.
it out and drip. I'm
You
pretty
need-
happy with this. I think when I stuck my finger in with the glove on and did the seam sealer in there,
Yeah.
it seems like it laid far enough down that it's not distracting.
It's got a little bit of character here and there, but overall, it looks like it laid pretty damn nice. There's a very light orange peel to it. You can see we've got a little bit of orange peel that honestly probably just looks factory from the 60s. That's what most shit looked like back then anyway. No matter how clean you think your garage is, you try to paint a car in it, all of the trash comes out.
So, how long do I have to wait till I can put wheels on this and roll it out? Is it just like tomorrow, or do I have to
Just dry to
couple
touch.
days? Okay.
Tomorrow will be fine, I'm sure.
I'm pretty happy with the way this thing turned out so far, but before I drool on the new paint job, let's take the tape off and all the masking. We can put this thing on some wheels and roll it outside, take a look at the light. And after 4 weeks of manual labor, it's from the crappy primer into this pretty blue. Let's take a look around it and see what it looks like in the sunlight. Cloud light. Hood is looking pretty good to me. We do have that weird modeling in this side. I don't know if you can see that on camera. This side is good. This side is modeled. Not too distracting. Otherwise, the front end came out pretty decent looking. We got a couple dents in here that I couldn't get out, and the bottom is a throwaway, but hell, the bumper is gonna cover all that. Honestly, this is much less distracting than I thought it was gonna be. There's a kind of it was pulled out for body work, and it doesn't bother me that much, especially standing up. Can't even tell there was a repair in there. The door here has a bunch of little dents in it, but they don't bother me much either. This one is the most noticeable. We got a hair in that pocket, a little I don't know, raised thing there, piece of crap in there. The seam sealer isn't too terrible, but it kind of sticks up a little bit more than I wanted. The paint coverage on the seam sealer didn't quite get on all of it, but it's seam sealer for a reason, so I'm not going to worry. Down the side, we're looking pretty good. Can't really tell anything went on over there. This little dent, this doesn't show up very much at all, actually. I'm honestly surprised at how well all this cleaned up. It looks pretty good overall. There's a little bit of piece of crap in there, little hole there that I missed, and the bottom of it is it's just garbage, so that's gonna be what it is. Again, another throwaway panel that I will be replacing with fiberglass in the future. The louvers look pretty good. I got a little bit of a run here, but I'm not sure if that's a run in the primer or in the paint itself. This is the biggest letdown. A little drop of water got in the paint, and it's pretty noticeable when you stand next to the car. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do unless I go and strip this whole thing and repaint it, so we're gonna let it ride for this paint job. Back here, this panel is super messed up, but it's not all that bad when you stand back and look at the car. It just looks a little wavy, that's all. I can't even tell this thing was patched with fiberglass. Our seam sealer looks a lot better on this side. It hides a lot better. Lower profile. A little wavy in here, but we'll get that chrome trim over it and we won't even notice. Front fender actually looks fabulous, if I do say so myself. This is the biggest repair in the car, and you can't even tell it was done if you're standing next to it. If you haven't seen the previous video, I actually cut out this piece of riveted, half brazed, half-inch of Bondo auto body repair out of this section right here. So go check that video out. I will link it up here. On the bottom end, the repair panel was a little bit proud, but again, it just looks like a slight surface wiggle in there. It's not even really, doesn't bother me at all. So I'm pretty happy with that repair. But otherwise, the car looks pretty amazing, I think. Man, looks good. Now, I'm not going to be keeping the wheels black like that. I'll probably strip that off and polish them up a little bit, but the rest of the car, man, that's a nice color. I love that color. Silver blue. This is the original color for the car, so it matches the interior. If you look at the doors and the interior, everything is also blue in here, so it should match pretty well when I go and shine up the blue paint inside. This door needs to be aligned. I gotta pull the latch out and realign that, and then there's a little bit of a sag going on in here with an offset issue, but I should be able to figure that out myself. That's not too bad. Oh man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm pretty happy with this paint job. I did not go with the cheapest possible option, although I did do a couple body repairs that are more temporary. I don't want to keep them on there forever. And we did do single stage instead of a two-part, so it is what it is. The paint has been curing for about a week now. I've been working on the trim, trying to get that ready to put back on the car, and I've come to a bit of a crossroads here. I got most of the trim cleaned up pretty well. This is the license plate surround, it's shining now. And we got some of the window trim done as well, and that looks nice. This is stainless trim, that's aluminum. And I've been looking at the emblems too, and these are kind of like pop metal with some kind of chrome plating on them. These things clean up reasonably well if they're not pitted, and this one isn't too bad. I just have a hard time getting tools in the little cracks and crevices in there. The real issue I'm having is the front end trim. So I started to polish this thing up thinking that's probably about as good as it's going to get for me. And I went up here and I started polishing, and I noticed that the surface quality on here is really bad. Looks like when someone was putting primer on this car, they probably hit this thing with a bunch of sandpaper, and the sandpaper scratches just do not polish out with what I've been using. They're pretty deep. So I went and I grabbed the front piece off the parts car, and I'm just comparing these two. Gave this a quick polish here. the back one is the original one, you can see that the scratches really come out. So the parts car one looks a lot better, but the caveat is it's also got a giant dent in it. So I gotta figure out, I think I'm gonna use the parts car one, try to work that out with the same technique I did with the original one. It's just not a good, easy decision either way, because I either get one that's kind of straight, but all scratched up, or I get one that's not straight, but it's gonna clean up nicely where it is straight. Looking a lot better already. Now for hammer and dolly action here. We're gonna end up looking at it from the top, and there is a imperfection there, but the bottom side is not gonna be as visible. It's always gonna be in shadow. It does have some dimples in it, but it's way better than the last one. I think because I used that rounded dolly, I was able to get a little bit smoother repair there. Not quite straight, but I think it's straight enough. I've got some of the trim done here, and I want to take a look at these real quick. This one is the passenger side, and this is the side that got hit and was pulled out. All the dents were pulled out. Looks like this one was replaced with a new old stock item, or maybe just stock at that point. It might have been replaced in the 70s, but this thing looks brand new on the backside. We do have a little bit of an angle on that piece there. This is kind of pulled out. I can try to straighten that out, but I'm not too worried about this. We can touch up some of the paint in here if we need to. The big concern is over here on the driver's side. We do have a lot of paint missing, so I can touch that up by hand. I'm not going to even try to mask all these off. And then over here we got that dent kind of banged out enough that hopefully the highlight will track correctly when you're walking by the car. And then on the top we have some paint overspray and gunk. And this actually is some kind of like either primer or white paint. So we're going to take this outside and try to strip the paint off. I got some blue gloves, bristle brush, and this aircraft stripper. The entire back of this can is covered in warnings and precautions. So I think it's fair to say that you do want to do this outside if you can. Mix it up. It says it should do its job in 40 minutes. So I'm going to put this on here. Now we wait 45 minutes. While the stripper does its job outside, I'm going to do my job inside, and we are going to coat this car with turtle wax. The reason I'm choosing just a cheap turtle wax is that I have a friend, Gary, who I run road rallies with, and he has a 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse 2G that he bought brand new. And that thing was his only car for 25 years in Minnesota, summer and winter, in the salt, everything. And I saw it a year or two ago before he retired it, and it was beautiful. There's not a speck of rust on the thing. I asked him what his trick was, and he said he waxes it once or twice a year. So I'm going to do the same to mine, learn from others. You can see a wiping line here, and we talked about that in the paint section of this video. Gavin tells me that I use probably too much wax and grease remover, and then I realized that the wax and grease remover, you're actually supposed to like wipe it off afterward. I didn't know that. So I actually used the wax and grease remover wrong in this paint job, and that is one way it shows. Since I learned about the extraordinary abilities of normal paste wax, I've been doing that to every car that I have. and put it on the cabrio and everything. So hopefully it does a pretty good job. It's been doing a very good job so far in the cabrio. While that wax flashes off, let's take a look at the paint stripper out here. It's been about an hour, I believe. Hi, Nikki. Nikki likes it. Oh, nice. Alright, well I think all the paint is gone, just a matter of polishing this thing. I guess the downside of this is my arm still isn't quite healed from doing this and sanding over and over and over, so it's actually a little bit painful to be waxing this car out. Oh god. But it's rubbing up pretty nice. It's looking nice and shiny, and it's feeling nice and smooth. So I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think one more coat and we're going to have a nice clean hard shell on it. As I go around and try to install things, I don't want to be sticking a screwdriver in past a brand new paint here to open the trunk anymore. Figured I'd go install the trunk lock, and I want to show you guys one reason that I approached Clark's for the sponsorship in the first place, because I'd gotten this trunk lock off of like Rock Auto or something. Said it was for a Corvair, and I didn't even bother to check it because the car was sitting outside on primer, but go to install it and it doesn't fit at all. You can see the Clark's gasket here has that kind of teardrop shape, and that fits perfectly over there. But if we look at this, it's a circle. It's a frickin' circle. What is that supposed to do for me? It doesn't even fit in there. I even tried the side door here, and it doesn't fit in that either. And now it's been so long because I've taken so long on this project that I can't return this. I just have to basically throw it away because I don't know what it fits. I got all this window trim on this side. I forgot to film this side, I'm sorry. But I'll go over to the passenger side and try to show you my process here. So I tried this side first and I messed up because you're supposed to put this piece on first, the A-pillar piece, and put the kind of drip rail trim on after that. So I am not going to take the stuff off. This, when you install this, it will rip the top of your paint off the drip rail the entire way, and I am not going to pull that thing off again. But I can show you kind of what's going on. This is the front piece here. So what I did on the last one is I put the seam sealer on this piece and I push it up here, and then I put this on over it. Unfortunately, you kind of have to stick this one in under this now because I didn't do it in the right order. But I think if I pull this out and I make some room, I can just gingerly stick this thing in. This side, I'm going to try to put the seam sealer on the pillar itself, so it's a little bit easier, less messy. Alright, this is the really butt clencher part of this. And my finger is already touching all of the seam sealer. What a stupid idea. I'm just gonna tell myself I'm having fun. Oh, it's going. Okay. Yeah, we got it. It kind of popped the trim off the edge. That's okay with me for now. Okay, I think we're on. I got some stainless screws for this. They are number 8, and they are 3/8 inch long. There we go. You little... Oh, no, you don't. Hopefully you can see here how the trim rail on the top has that little cutout to intersect with the A-pillar piece, and the A-pillar piece kind of shingles underneath it. So you can see that any water will shingle down from this side onto this side. There are only a few more things I have to put on before we go to the emblems, and the emblems have to go on after the vinyl. So we have the front grill kind of trim piece here. We got the headlights and their buckets up front, and those, unfortunately, I can't find all the hardware I bought for them, so I gotta wait and go find the hardware before I do that. The rain tray grill, whatever you call this, up on the cowl, has a bunch of little rusty screws. I want to restore those screws before I put them back in, so that's not going to go on yet. We have the window fuzzies, those will go on, and we have these little clips for the rear window trim, and the rear window trim clips are still in there. I didn't take them out. I didn't know if I had to. I think they're going to have to go out, but I think I'm going to want my dad here to witness me messing this up, because I feel crazy trying to think about how that works. Going to have to look at the workshop manual as well. But in the meantime, I gotta work on these things. These are the kind of inner fenders. They go up in the front area, kind of rear of the headlights. And these things have been badly rusted. You can see the rust hole that's still in there right now. And I went this morning and tried to start fiberglassing these. It looks like it patched pretty well on these holes, thankfully. So I'll have to trim that up. I'm gonna put some more fiberglass on this. It's pretty big hole, so it's gonna take a little more care. And go and pour 15 these things, get them all ready to put in. Quite honestly, I'm in kind of a boring part of the project right now, so I'm not gonna bring you along for all this little piddly crap. If there's something interesting, I'll tell you, but otherwise we'll just go forward. Kevin just got here. I got him to pull the camera out of his butt and actually help me out a little bit.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi.
We're gonna put the vinyl on today.
I'm gonna show you how we're going to cut them to shape on the car instead of having to like plot and cut them out however ahead of time. We're gonna actually cut them on the car using knifeless tape. That's gonna be fun. Then we've got all of the other, text and stuff that I cut. If you need any custom decal work, stuff like this, redhenracing.com, shoot me an email. We cut custom vinyls, and I'll make a sticker or two here and there. Warranty not expressed or implied.
He is a secondary sponsor on the car.
Let's do the white circles first.
Yeah. On the first day of car design school, we sat down and our professor made us draw circles and lines, straight lines, for the entire class. So you can say I'm an expert at this.
Soapy water manded ready.
Demanded?
Let me spray your fingers.
Give me the soap.
It's basically tinting windows. It's the same thing.
I've never tinted windows.
Really? You want to keep this stuff really soapy and keep it from sticking to itself. Barely soapy water lets you have a little bit of wiggle room when you put it on the panel. So you can put it on there, and then you'll be able to slide it a little bit until you get it where you want it to be.
There-ish.
That's a Supra.
Jeez. Our resident vinyl expert, I don't know if that's the right term, is going and using a heat gun to try to set the top of this thing because it's not adhering quite as we want it.
Yeah, just helping it follow that curvature a little bit better. They are designed to be more set in place when you heat them up. That's not going anywhere.
This one I actually went to Cairo and stole out of an Egyptian tomb. It is used for like brain removal during the embalming process. So we're going to use this on the
chicken.
What is this? Yeah, the clear coat here, and try to get the clear coat off, peel that out. Oh, there we go. Hey, got him, LOL. I love that sound.
Man, look at that.
meatball. Engage. A little slippery. We gotta save room up here for another element later on. Where's the scrapey boy?
Watch out, chicken. You got a little bit of curvature here that's going to need to be heated to work that out. While he gets his life together, let me give you a tour. This is an 85 Toyota Supra. This is what we ran at Press On Regardless last year.
Sure. This one.
You know, 423. We did that last year. If you didn't catch it, hop over to my channel on Red Hen Racing. We have it's a two-parter because it was a 2-day.
Pretty good one.
It was
Check
a really
it out.
good. It was a good 2-day event. That was a blast.
I think I let out an F-bomb by that one.
But since then, this thing has undergone a lot of surgery because we broke it very badly at that rally. Literally everything that rolls is brand new. New wheel studs. Tyler pressed those in at his shop for us. It's a Supra. Over here, you get your life together yet?
Put that on there.
What doing?
How do you do? How do?
Lay that flat and peel this at an angle instead.
Or I've done smaller, like 5-inch vinyl decals, but nothing huge.
I'll keep this as flat as possible and pull that at as harsh an angle as possible.
Right there.
I think you nailed it first try.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah. It's getting there.
We're just gonna heat the black up here and make sure that that sticks to the white and the blue. And then after that, we can pull the transfer tape off, and hopefully we'll pull the black letters off with it.
No need to yell it.
I can't hear anything. I don't know what's going on, and I'm very scared.
Where it is right now, it's cattywampus at the same amount that
Hey.
Clark's is.
Oh, hey, what's up? Corvair parts. And
Corvair parts, gross.
Jeff said a little bit just because it's a circle,
Well, you
maybe.
should go ahead and pick this up then, because it's been sitting there for a second.
We're gonna start doing the dark blue here. This is gonna be a nice arrow. We're gonna have arrows on both sides. So I got this laid out. We made sure that it fits the Red Hen Racing decal that's gonna go right here. And now Gavin's gonna explain about knifeless tape, which is, I guess, how we're gonna cut this.
Oh, hey. Yeah, it would be incredibly tedious to try to cut these shapes on, like with scissors, just with the vinyl and then stick them on. And it's a lot easier to just envision it on the car and cut it on the car, but like you don't want to go around with a box cutter and physically carve into your paint. So that's what knifeless tape is for. So we're going to take, I'm just going to give you a little quick demonstration here with one of our scrap white pieces. Kind of what he's done with that arrow shape there. We're going to do the same thing, but with knifeless tape laid out everywhere that we want cut. We're going to have an oversized piece of vinyl that lays over it. And you take this knifeless tape here, you just take one of the tail ends of it, gimme. It's like a really fine filament. So you separate it, and then you just make sure your vinyl is set really good, and you just pull this through it.
Okay.
And that gives you a nice clean cut. It's going to be super easy. Nothing dumb's going to happen.
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
No
don't worry.
inconveniences are going to arise.
Got my blue tape outlined with red tape. Pulled the blue tape off. We're looking pretty good. You want to overlap it like that, not like that. That's too little overlap, but we're gonna run with it. And Gavin's got the nice royal blue up here. I think it's gonna look really nice against the silver blue paint. And he's going to cut out a rough version of that. Then I'm gonna take this. I got measurements off of how big that gap is. Gonna transfer that over here. Here's my measurement, and then we're gonna go down, make the next arrow back here with the blue tape, then the red tape, and then we're gonna do vinyl, and we'll just keep going on until we're done. Gavin's throwing this on right now.
The wind picks up.
And the wind hits it.
Exactly as I'm trying to do this.
Murphy's Law.
And you can see the line of where our peely, knifeless tape is under there. See if this stuff actually cuts any good. And it seems to be... Ooh, as soon as I say something.
Never say something.
There we go.
Okay, first piece of tape done. It did start raining, that's why we're inside.
Yeah, we had to emergently relocate. It started raining.
Now all the lighting is going to be off, but what are you going to do?
It's okay. It's supposed to be over by the time we're supposed to be done with this in 4 to 6 business days. So
yeah,
we'll get back outside for the reveal, surely. All right, let's see if this one goes smooth. Fuck.
Do you need a knife on that? It's a little help, doesn't it?
Just a little bit to get it started.
Oh, buddy. There we go. Going over the door cut and straight down.
That one goes over it.
Damn it. I gotta be more careful about
So
that.
close. Now this whole piece just... Perfect.
Sweet. Sweet. Let me just open the door real quick and... Funny. I'm gonna continue on this part. I gotta put a piece of tape here and mark the center, run that out, mark this distance, run these up, down, and then I can put my diagonals in. So it's kind of just like drafting, I guess. Oh, that red tape is upside down, isn't it? Gavin was able to make use of a scrap piece from the first arrow to put this on the door. Got that on. I got to retape that because that was one piece and it got pulled off. So this is going on now. I've had a really hard time putting that red tape around this corner. It's too tight of a radius to make it happen. Up here I was kind of able to cheat that in, and over here I taped a cheese ball container lid to it so I could follow that line. So we could take that lid off, and looking pretty good. This whole stripe here is going to go and wrap around up around the engine cover. So we're gonna go and do a similar thing on the other side, and I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Yeah, 74 by 24 piece of vinyl put on this corner here. It is the largest piece on the whole car, and I'm hoping that it goes all right. Gavin's saying this stuff is actually really malleable.
This is the easiest vinyl to work with. This Avery Dennison brand vinyl, super easy to work with. Like, look at all these air bubbles. They just bloop, 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 right out.
Nice.
Cheap vinyl don't do that.
Be nice to
Cheap
do that.
You'll be sitting here with a needle all day, popping little air bubbles and trying to squeegee them out.
Worth the extra cost.
It's worth paying a little more when you're doing a project this big that you pretend to give a shit about.
So we're gonna go back here. We got that.
Worth it.
What is it? Knife-free? Was it knifeless?
tape.
I can't remember. Knifeless tape goes back here,
British
comes around
tape.
the corner. British shape because it's toothless.
Knifeless.
Knifeless.
Because they have knife crime, they're not allowed to have knives.
But they have knives.
I know. Weird how that works, isn't
What?
it?
I thought it was gunless. Anyway, so this comes down, and I got a little bit of the blue painter's tape holding it, so hopefully that corner is going to work out well. This one laid pretty well, and I think overall we're doing good.
Yeah.
Comes up to
This is going very smoothly, better than expected. I'm very happy with how this is working and laying.
And we only picked this stuff because I was unhappy with the color choices on the cheaper vinyl. So I'm glad that I picked the more expensive color. Otherwise, we might have been struggling more, or he might have been, because I'm laying this stuff out as he goes. You know, I'm trying to make sure all this stuff's in the right place because I designed it, and he's just helping me put it on. This goes up to the cut line here on the engine cover. We're gonna have another piece that goes up here. Yeah. Anyway, well, we'll be able to put some of this smaller stuff on with some of the offcuts. Thankfully, this is gonna have that same gradual curvature that the other one has. So instead of that going up, this is going to go down. And I got to lay this whole thing out the same way. The way I did that is I laid down a vertical piece of tape. I marked where the the character line is, where the top of the stripe is, where the bottom of the stripe is. That way I can lay my kind of gun sight my tape over to the next one, which is marked the same way for that section, and that'll give me a nice consistent way to do it without having to measure everything twice and have to do all the extra work. The arrowhead is going to be a little bit of work still, but it's a lot better than having to go and do all this crap again. Going okay over there?
This is looking really good, and I don't want you to come back over here until I'm completely finished with it.
Aww.
All I gotta do is put yours and my white banners over here, and then you can look at it.
Yeah?
This is hot.
Nice.
That's a banger from the Gen Zers.
A banger. Gavin's over there. He will not let me look at that side, but I've done some work over here. We got this kind of S-curve going on around the edge. He wanted to kind of continue this down on the rear panel. I don't know if I like it. It works, but he says it's gonna take some more effort to make that look right. So we're not gonna worry about that right now. I had to tape this corner down again like I did on the driver's side, and this corner I might put a little tape on as well. It's really hard to get a consistent tight radius with this tape. It wants to kind of chunk around. This one looks pretty good. I used the other side cut off, off-cut vinyl as the kind of template for that. It worked okay. Got a nice arrow blocked out here. I'm liking how that's looking, and I think it's going to work pretty well. So I got to go and continue on the front end. Now I have to copy this over from his side. So unfortunately, since I'm not allowed to look at it yet, he's going to have to hurry up and get it done sooner so I can continue this, and then we can go get burgers.
Something about that combination of vinyl and transfer tape is not working out doing a wet application.
That's the premium vinyl, and it's not that sticky on the first hit.
It is insisting on just coming up with the transfer tape. It will not stay put.
We're probably going to just take this off, try to figure out a new way to do it.
That one is not working out.
Without being able to look at the driver's side of the car, I might start laying out the trunk lid here, although kind
Say we
of
go ahead and roll it back outside.
going to want to be on that side anyway, but we'll figure it out. You didn't! Oh, it's perfect! Oh, Gavin. No, this is awesome. I like it. It pops really well. I'm gonna take the paint off the wheels and polish them, and they're gonna really bring out the wheel wells more when they're polished. But hell yeah, it looks sweet.
It's looking really good.
Yeah.
Yay, we're halfway done.
I mean, I've got a lot. I've got a lot.
8 more hours.
Got a lot taped out, so I gotta tape this one on the other side, and then I'm gonna tape the hood as well, or the trunk as well. But yeah, Gavin's just got to do a couple more.
They do be pecking though. I've been finding that starting the very edges of them, it's easiest to go ahead and give it a little help and notch it a bit with a razor blade. Just make sure not to cut the filament. I've done that a couple of times now, and it's fucking annoying, actually.
So that's what took so long.
Damn, this is looking like a race car.
Ooh.
Look at it. The arrows make it faster. See, I use my thumb tip to space out from the lip of the fender with the blade, and that makes it a consistent cut the whole way around.
That's nice. Well, once we get that cut out, put on, that's the end of the blue, and I think we're on the home stretch, thankfully.
We're running out of daylight. I don't know where it goes at night.
Did people really used to live in black and white? Gavin's working up front on the front fender. I'm doing the little, that's you.
That's me.
I'm doing the baby's first vinyl application back here. Little Tykes vinyl kit.
I'm getting tired of working, Grandpa.
So we're gonna see, ow, my gosh.
You know what you're doing back there?
Nope, no idea. Some guy came up and said that I should do this, and I said, okay. All right, so we're going to do this.
Hey, did you wipe that off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just dirty.
I'm watching with great interest. Oh, you fucked it up.
Oh, I actually did. Get that on out to the edge. It's actually not too bad to work with, especially on a flat surface. It's pretty easy.
It really is. I love this vinyl.
One of the things that I've noticed is on this tight corner, the vinyl actually holds that tape down pretty well, so you can go around the corner without having to worry too much about it. Cuts it pretty nice. And then when we pull it off, yeah, it's not too bad there. I mean, that it's not as smooth of a corner as I wanted it to be, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. From back here, you can't tell. While we're doing this, I should mention I'm trying to make this YouTube channel a little bit more financially sustainable for myself. So I have added a super thanks button. Is it called super thanks? In case the content that I show you on these videos is useful to you, if it's helped you at all, feel free to toss me a couple bucks. And I also have a memberships section as well now. The first level of the memberships is Rally Service Crew. It's $4.99 a month. I'm going to be posting videos that are member exclusive. So if you want to see updates on the video that's coming up before you even see it, I'll be adding little shorts all the time just to update on little stuff like this. That's fun to see before the actual video comes out. And get to... He's my first member.
I don't know what kind of people I attract,
well,
but your audience is a lot friendlier than
you have
mine.
more
You get
meme
really
stuff.
nice, like wholesome comments.
Yeah. It's getting pretty late here. Sun is officially down, but I want to walk you guys around and show you because this thing's looking
I've
pretty
been
nice
awake
already.
for 29 hours.
He works the night shift and a little bit out there, Jerry. I want to show you some of this stuff before we go and cut it for the night. I think it looks awesome. I like how this turned out with doing this stripe goes up around on the engine cover, and that's supposed to connect with stripe on the front, and then we got the other stripe here comes off the side and goes the opposite way, so it's kind of that goofy 60s kind of groovy stuff. We might end up doing a stripe down here in the future, but for now it's not feasible. I think it looks awesome. We're gonna have to tuck this into the jambs here once we get done with the front here. Gavin's working on that, and I think we're gonna put the red hand sticker on, and then we'll take off. I do have a little bit more to do tomorrow than I thought I would. I thought we were gonna hopefully get this done today, but man, it's a lot of work, and it's fiddly work even with a nice vinyl.
Nothing but net. It's definitely made a huge impact on like the overall vibe of the car in a really good way. It's awesome. But it definitely is time consuming and material cost intensive to get the good stuff and do it right, but it's worth it. This is dope.
I'm super happy about it. It looks way more professional now than it did before. It's not just some old car that somebody painted. It looks like a actual like race car or rally car. It's not going to be racing, maybe a rallycross now and then, maybe an autocross, but mainly it's going to be regularity rallies, which...
You want to come get whomped at an autocross?
I would love to get whomped at an autocross.
Come let my wife beat you at autocross.
Last time I went to an autocross, it took the Saab Sonnet, and I was going faster than someone in a Porsche 944, and I think like a Mustang, and if you send it with a slow car, you can put down some decent times at autocross. One more thing for the memberships, I don't want to belabor it, but the next person who becomes a member to my channel gets a free Seal Beam Water Team water bottle. This is like a...
Does it say Seal Beam Water Team?
What? Did I say Seal Beam Water Team?
You said Seal Beam Water Team.
Jesus Christ.
It's been a long day!
I don't want to belabor it, but the next person who signs up to be a member to my channel at any level can get this free Seal Beam Rally Team water bottle. There's only one of them. It's a Polar Camel brand, and it's pretty cool.
I'm going to cancel it.
Do not microwave. So go ahead, $5 a month, and I will send you this and cool stuff. Thing is sitting here looking amazing. I went through here and Took the heat gun to all the vinyl and rubbed it in. There are a couple pieces that needed to be pushed in a little bit and melted on a little bit. Up here especially, I had a couple of bubbles that one I had to pop and one I had to kind of push out. So I'm hoping that, oh, there's a bubble there. See that? Hoping I can work these out. Have to put in a little more heat on that, get it to stick. I think the kind of glue sticky stuff underneath the vinyl wants to be heated up to stick to the paint, so I'm going to go through, redo that part. That's been a trouble part since we put it on. Otherwise, the whole thing is together, and I think it looks amazing. We had a cover on this thing all week. I love how this worked. I was kind of skeptical, seeing if it would work or not, but I love the way the line goes up there. I did put my arrow on the trunk as well, and I didn't have enough of a big section of vinyl for this, so I ended up putting a square there, or a rectangle there, then I put the triangle over the top of it. But I used more of a matte finish for the black, so the black actually reads pretty well even if there are reflections over it, which is really good for having a logo on there. It's very readable, I like it, and Gavin's little thing here worked out really well too. To top it off, I put some American flags on there because we are running an American car made in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Kind of cool to have a old American sports car at these rally events. And I think it's time to do a little bit more sprucing up of this rig. I got these Monza badges for the fenders from Clark's, and they are officially licensed from the mothership. Let's pop those on. Little retainers here, new retainers. We can tap it flat, and you can see right there, it's in there. They're a little bit fiddly to install, especially over the vinyl. But they're going pretty easy. I don't know if this does anything, but it makes me nervous having holes in the car, so I'm going to just put a little dab of Right Stuff RTV in there. Put this in, it's just got the pins on there, and as you put the pins in, it kind of gets in there and opens up the retainers. Alright, well, it's shiny. Seems like there's a gap back there, like there's too much of a curvature on that badge, but you know what? When you look at it from the side, it doesn't matter at all. One way or another, it's a hell of a lot better than what was on the car. Let's dig in the magical box of shiny stuff here and pull out this badge. There are like 3 sizes of retainers on this car, I think, so it looks like these retainers from the side don't fit here. These ones don't have these retainers. It's a stud through the front, so not going to worry about that. I got to go find what retainers go in here. I have not been very prepared for all the little emblem things because it's kind of foreign to me. Why would you not use the same retainer all over the car? The Corvair is all painted. It's all got the livery on there, and I think it looks amazing. We are excited to take this thing to the 2024 Press On Regardless Regularity Rally in Michigan. It's going to be in early September, so come and follow the project, or we're going to build this thing up and take it out there and beat the hell out of it for 2 days straight. I've got a few main takeaways from this project. One of them is to take as much time with the bodywork as possible. Obviously, I'm on a short timeline to get this thing. It has no engine right now. Get this thing out to Press On Regardless and beat it up. I mean, I don't have much time here, so I didn't have time to do the bodywork the way I wanted to, especially with the rust up here. We're gonna take care of it in due time, just not this year. We also noticed that the modeling on the hood means you can't spray metallic in a single stage, apparently. You want to spray it with a 2-stage, that way you can lay it on thicker and it won't glob together like that. So unfortunately, with it being just a kind of this year paint job, we ended up with some modeling in certain areas. Not a huge deal for me. And again, we got some of those little kind of raised sections like dust in the paint, and that again is more of that single stage stuff. I just can't really buff them out. We're gonna live with them. Second, we used that Avery Denison vinyl on the dark blue. It worked really well. If you're gonna do any vinyl work on a car like this, I would really recommend that stuff. It's super easy to work around. You can pick it up easily, put it back down, and it still sticks pretty well. In the future, I may have wanted to paint the dark blue, but I think it's okay for what it is, and if I want to take it all off after POR, I can. I think overall it's been going pretty well. I got my nice new Clark's emblems on there looking shiny. Got my door handles nice and polished up and installed. And then come on back here. We got our Corvair logo with the Clark's reproduction World is Flat emblem there, and I love that thing. It's so cool. That's a 102 horsepower badge. So I don't have to worry about polishing and repainting those because Clark's just sells them reproduced. Awesome. We got some taillight stuff coming on the way. We got to figure out how to do the rear window trim, and I might have to pull the window out for that, but I decided it wasn't worth messing around with right now. We got to finish up the trim up here and just a bunch of little things like that. The mirror, I got to figure out how to make it not floppy. It's always one more thing, isn't it? Obviously, I have a lot of work to do on this car. That was kind of the whole deal the whole time, just get it done. But the next time we're going to come back, do the floor pans. We're going to pour 15 the whole floor, mount some seat mounts, probably throw the seats in there, and we got to do the drip channels in the trunk and the engine cover as well. A lot of stuff to do here. Thank you for coming with me on this. Thank you to Clark's Corvair Parts for sponsoring this project in this episode and helping me bring this thing to press on regardless. So awesome. Early model Corvairs won press on regardless twice in the 1960s. So this may be the first time since the 1960s that an early model Corvair has actually been to that event and competed in that regularity rally. If you enjoy this content, if it helps you out, if it entertains you, please consider giving me a thanks. There's a little button down there. It starts at $2. I really appreciate it. It takes a lot of time and money and effort to get this thing done, especially on the tight timeline and tight budget. And we also have the memberships. Check that out below. Really would appreciate it if you felt that it was worth your money to help support this project. Press on.